Walker.
All right, as we get ready for the Chargers to get the ball back here, time for another one-on-one segment. Our own Eric Winston going one-on-one with former Packers, Broncos, and Raiders receiver Javon Walker.
My name is Javon Walker, and most of you know me as a professional football player from the Green Bay Packers, Denver Broncos, and now the Oakland Raiders. I have been drafted to play professional baseball. I played it for 3 years and obviously pursued my happiness in football. Being a professional athlete is not all that it seems to be. There's a lot of scrutiny, there's a lot of politics, and there's also a lot of trouble that can come behind it. I've been robbed, I've been shot at, I've been kidnapped, and I've also been left for dead. Most people don't know who the real Javon Walker is, but now I'm here to tell you.
Javon Walker is a son.
Javon Walker is a friend.
I'm Jonathan Holland of the Oakland Raiders, and Javon Walker is a teammate.
Expect fireworks. Get to know the man behind the uniform, the man behind the tragedies, the man behind the fame and fortune, and find out who is Javon Walker.
Javon Walker, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for going one-on-one.
Thanks for having me.
Now, so you were born in Galveston, right? But you pretty much grew up in southern Louisiana, right?
Yeah. My mom was living in Houston, and when she was pregnant with me, wound up being born out here, and then moved down to Lafayette, Louisiana.
Now, football's pretty big in southern Louisiana, well, all over Louisiana. I mean, people always talk about Texas football, Texas high school football, but you know, high school football in Louisiana is a big deal too, right?
Yeah, it's year round. You know, most people that are in other states or might meet friends in college who might have come from up north. They don't realize how big it is. You know, in the South, we had a spring game in May, we had passing camps over the summer, and then August, you're getting started again. So it was year round all the time.
Now, how did that work out with your baseball career? A lot of people don't realize you're a big time baseball player, drafted in the 8th round, I think, right?
Right.
And, I mean, when I was growing up in Midland, I played a lot of sports, played basketball, played baseball, and after football season, as long as you were doing the weights and doing like that off-season program, they left you alone.
Right.
But was that kind of the same thing for you? I mean, was it okay? I mean, did they support you playing other?
They were
playing other sports.
Yeah, they were pretty lenient with it, and it was funny because in some ways I kind of took advantage because when I knew they were going through spring training, I was still being baseball, so I would just push it back a little bit, saying I'm gonna report right when all the tough stuff's over with to be ready to go for the first regular season game in college.
So you took the long route coming out of high school. A lot of great players. Jeremy Shockey comes to mind just right off the top, but you went the JC route.
Right.
Now, did you go? Was it a grades thing, or was it more of no one really saw me, and I wanted to go somewhere where I can really show what I got?
What happened was when I went baseball out of high school, the schools that were recruiting me, Alabama, LSU, Florida State, I took a year off from football. So when I decided to go back to football, I contacted these schools, and and for them, they didn't really know what I still had because it was a year off, so they wasn't going to waste a scholarship on a person that might have lost a step or two. So they told me if I go to a JC, prove myself, I could go back, and needless to say, I did my thing in JC and then wound up going.
No, JC had a pretty good receiving score, huh?
Oh wow, yeah, the Deion Branch. Yeah, we actually the year we were there, we won the whole thing. We were wire to wire, went 12-0 and won the national championship, and he wound up going on to Louisville, and I went to Florida State, and then he's a Patriot, still a Patriot,
wow.
And I wound up going to Green Bay and the other teams after that.
Nice. So after junior college, you go to Florida State. What was that like? What was Bobby Bowden like? I guess you hear so many stories of how such of a grandfather figure he is to so many guys. What was your, relationship with him?
I love Coach Bowden. Coach Bowden was a very, very wise man. He pretty much all his coaching staff would take over the day-to-day needs of getting us prepared to play a game, which he was a head coach doing what a head coach's job in college. He would oversee making sure everybody's doing what he planned for that week. And but other than that, you just liked hearing him speak. He would always have like a life lesson that happened or that he went through or somebody went through if you were always having problems. So
I had a great time with Coach Bowden.
You guys were pretty good at Florida State too. That was still a lot of the glory years, right?
Yeah. We actually went to 2 national championships, and they went to the previous one. I wasn't there yet, but 3 back-to-back. It was kind of what you see a lot of the dominant schools doing right now. We did, early on in the 90s.
And you guys must have done really good against Miami, though, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was one team. That's one team I don't have a victory against. And it's kind of like now. You remember the year?
Sure, yeah.
And then we wound up going to the Orange Bowl
Absolutely.
and losing to Oklahoma, where, it could have been you guys.
Yeah, it should have been the same thing.
At least we know the system's still the
Florida
same.
State, first-round pick at Green Bay. Green Bay's a pretty special place, right? I mean, it's different. It's so much different than any other NFL city in America.
Yeah, it's different. A lot of tradition. You can pretty much say the history of what goes on in the NFL today was, started up by Lombardi. Everybody knows, about him. Green Bay won championships before it was called Super Bowls. Way before that, winning his franchise as far as Super Bowls, if we were counting them as Super Bowls and championships, and a lot of history there.
2 years in, you end up, or 3 years in, have your best career or best season of your career, end up going to a Pro Bowl. Well, I mean, I'm still chasing that first one.
Right.
What was that feeling like when you got that call? You knew, gosh, I'm going to the Pro Bowl. It's amazing.
It was exciting because here you are in a profession where you get a lot of great players, and to sit back and say you're put in the category of being one of the best at your position. It's actually an honor to yourself, because that lets you know you did what it took that year to put yourself, and other players and coaches recognize that. So, sometimes people look at it as, you were just good that year, but you did the things you needed to do to, have that success.
What was it like playing with Brett Favre? A lot of people, you hear so many stories now about him. He's portrayed in such a negative light, but people forget that negative light just started recently. Like, he was a hero for everybody. Up until the last 3 or 4 years. What was he like playing with?
Brett was a great guy. Everybody's had their issues with Brett, but it's always a forgive and forget.
Sure.
He was a guy that always kept you comfortable, and I think with everything that happened towards the end, it's mostly because we know it as a job, but most people look at it as loyalty with him going to Minnesota at the end, but before that to the Jets, because they feel like him and his legacy should have just stayed in Green Bay. But for him, he wanted to continue to play, and he played, however many years after he left Green Bay. So
now, how many fingers did he break? Yours?
I still have one broken one right here. Still the pinky.
That's
that's the mark he left me with.
That's the one thing you can say of like every receiver that's played. Like,
right.
How many fingers did he break?
Yeah,
I broke three of my fingers.
Yeah. And the thing about
threw the ball so hard.
Right, hard, and you can't, and it's cold.
Sure, yeah.
So it's like a brick coming towards you, and that's one thing you can say about him. He had one of the strongest arms I've ever been.
Now then, next year you tear your ACL after some contract stuff. Kind of end up forcing your way out into Denver. Would you still do the things the same way? I mean, looking back on it, it's such a hard. People don't realize how hard to me it is, and I'm just talking to people, and people don't understand the what we're allowed and not allowed to do, and have and our rights and everything like that. And and it's so tough, at the end of the day, to decide, hey, you know what, I need to go somewhere else. I need to do that. I mean, is it something you look back on and say, I wish I would have done this differently, or is it something that you said, hey, at the time, I still think I made the right decision?
At the time, like, I still would have done the same thing, but I would have went about it in a different way.
Sure.
And what a lot of people don't understand, it looks like at the time it was coming from me, but majority of the time you're just listening to the support staff that's around you. Being older, being a little bit wiser, seeing how everything works in the league right now, more decision making on my own, I would have done it a different way, but I still would have pursued the same path, but I'd have probably done it different.
5 years from now, or actually, what are you doing right now? I mean, what is?
Well, you know what?
Obviously, you're out of the league right now. I don't know if you're still trying to pursue that or what, but what's kind of what are you into right now?
Well, unfortunately, with the lockout being the way it was this year, we're still training, still with guys who are out there, free agencies like myself, and along with other guys. I'm gonna give it one more run next year, but like the lockout didn't do me any favors with, a lot of young guys, teams and stuff we're trying to look at. But I'm gonna give it one more run when the spring comes around, see how it works out. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna move on to something else. See what the future holds and go go from there.
What do you think you want to do? What do you got planned? What do you see yourself doing 5 years from now?
You know what? It's very, very funny because there's some opportunities out there. You know, obviously I'm sort of a self.
You have a passion for something?
Well, you know, if there's something that I would really want to do, I would be in front of a camera. But other than that, I'm kind of like a self-entrepreneur, just kind of looking, you know, doing more what, you know, went to college for business-wise.
Javon, appreciate you being here, man.
Thank you.
Look at that speed, Javon Walker going for the touchdown there. Was that in a Gary Kubiak offense?
No, I wish. Right when I went to Denver, Gary came here,
okay.
And then I just seen all the catches Andre Johnson had after that.
That could have been you.
You know, and it was funny because when that was like, it was part of a trade, and I was excited just knowing what he's done with receivers and, you know, Rod Smith at the time, and then right when I got there, he left, and Andre Johnson's just had so many catches and so many yards.